Yo guys, what is up and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got another review on the Prime Icon Moments Patrick Kluivert. I'm going to go into the card's details, stats, clips and summary, as well as the SBC requirements for this card and comparing him to that Prime Icon Kluivert to show you guys what the difference is between the two and if I think it's worth completing that SBC for him. Before we get into all of that, if I could ask you guys to please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you know when I upload, and comment down below if you are going to be doing this SBC and what your thoughts are on the card. And without further ado, let's get into the review. So guys, this is a team that I used Prime Icon Moments Patrick Kluivert in. I did the loan card and I played 4 games on him. I'm going to keep 1 game just in case I do need to use him for friendlies or Dutch players or something like that. So I have kept 1 game on him, but 4 games played. And my initial thoughts on this card, guys, he offers everything the other card did offer, but there's a big difference in how he's able to finish, how he's able to use his body as well. He's very good, guys, in terms of just overall build-up play. He plays the prototypical big striker type of player style as well. So we're going to get into all of that though. Let's just get straight into it. 6'2", high-low work rates, right-footed, 4-star skill moves and 5-star weak foot. So guys, really nice there actually. 4-star skill moves for you skillers out there, 5-star weak foot, great for finishing. 6'2", tall, big striker and high-low work rates, perfect as well. 4 games played, 10 goals scored and 4 assists, so really nice return as well, considering we're back in Division 2 now, guys. That is a fantastic return for me, and I played this in Division Rivals. I could have tested him out in friendlies to keep those games, but I wanted to test it out in Division Rivals to give you guys the best idea of what he is like. I tried 2 chemistry styles on him, guys. I didn't think the shooting needed that much of a boost, so I tried the Artist and I tried the Engine. Now, both do very different things to this card. I do think overall the Engine is better, considering what dribbling stats and the pace stats that it boosts. But I do think the Artist did have its place. It did do a lot of favors for him as well. So I think both are very good, but overall for me, I think the Engine will be the one. We'll get more into that in the summary. In terms of the key attributes, guys, attack positioning 94, finishing 97, shot power 93, all fantastic. Jumping 92, heading accuracy 92, short pass 87. All of these are fantastic stats for this card. And one thing that goes along with all of this, which is absolutely sensational too, is that 87 strength. This guy is an absolute bull. He bullies people, breaks through people all the time, and it's really great to have that in your player as well. In terms of how the chemistry style boosts him, and this is related to the cons, 79 agility, not great. So the Artist did help him a lot in that regard, brings that up to 93, makes him a lot quicker. His dribbling was only 84 as well, so with an Artist that comes up to a 94. I think that's a little bit weak, guys. He does feel very stiff and stuck in the mud if you do not boost that dribbling, so I do definitely think that needs fixing. And overall, guys, I think the other thing as well is his pace, funnily enough. Even though it's 89, it does need to be a little bit up just to enable him to be able to move a little faster, get going a little quicker. However, guys, I don't think it's a massive issue. It's only if you guys really do love pacey strikers, then that's what you need to boost. For me personally, I actually like the way the Artist felt on him, but the Engine did feel like it helped a lot more, of course, in that pace department too. It did also boost that long passing as well, and as I was using him as a hold-up striker and kind of playing the ball and bouncing the ball off him a lot, I did feel like that helped a lot as well, being able to pass the ball from all sorts of ranges with this card. Getting into the player traits, he's got the power header trait, the outside of the foot shot trait, and the flare trait. All nice traits to have. I wish we had that finesse shot trait because this card's power shots are fantastic from distance. That would be great, but he doesn't have it. But those are still a nice set of traits to have. And now that we've covered all of that, we're going to get into the difference between this Kluivert and the Prime Icon Kluivert for you. So guys, if we just get straight into this Patrick Kluivert comparison, you guys can see right at the top, we'll start with that price, 1.04 million or 1.202 on the Xbox, or 302k and 299 on the Xbox for the Prime. So the difference there, 700k between these two cards, and that's a massive hike in price. You guys can now see here the total stats on the face of the card are up by 17. That's quite a big jump. If we look a little bit deeper in terms of the actual in-game stats, there's only about a 70 difference. I think it's 68 difference, yep, in terms of the total in-game stats. So guys, maybe not a lot between these cards, but actually when you look at what this card is improved at, it makes it dramatically better in terms of how he plays. Let's just get straight into those stats though. The first one is his pace, up 3 on that, and I do think that is slightly improved. He does feel very stiff and stuck in the mud still, so I didn't really notice this pace upgrade as much. I felt like he was okay in terms of speed, but not particularly noticeable upgrade from the 91. In terms of the shooting, guys, now this was a lot better actually, guys. His finishing was great, shot power was still good, as was the previous card, and in general I think that's really what the difference was his overall finishing was really good. Now there is another factor which ties into this, which is composure, and we'll get onto that shortly, but overall I think the shooting did feel a lot more crisp and a lot better in terms of just overall getting the ball into the net and putting away the chances there. In terms of the passing, didn't really feel much difference there either. I felt like the 91 Kluivert was a very good link-up player, so again, not much difference between the passing, and I think that this card overall played very well in the link-up play and in general for me too. In terms of the dribbling stats, 86 to 83, so there is a notable jump here. The agility, he does feel still very stuck in the mud. I do think you guys need to put a chemistry style that will affect that and bring that up. The biggest change here though is of course in that composure, and that has gone up by 8 points, and that is massive, guys, because this card before could not finish consistently because of that composure, and now he really does. He finishes really well and really consistently, and I think that's a fantastic addition to the card then. Really, what might make this card such a price hike, I don't think he is of course worth 1 million, but I think when he does come down to where he'll settle at, maybe around 600, 700k, I think that will be the defining factor, is he can actually finish really well now, and that's really a really big thing of course for a striker too. In terms of defense stats, we won't look at anything apart from the heading accuracy, and that is exactly the same, so no difference there either. And in terms of the physicality, guys, I'll just read these out to you because I can't pull them up on screen. 92 jumping to 91, 83 stamina to 79, 87 strength to 86, and 76 again to 75. Not much different in the physicality stats either, and you guys can see that from the face of the card. There isn't really much between them. So overall, guys, I actually think that the biggest thing they've improved, and it's amazing that they have done this, especially on a striker card, is the fact that his shooting is so much better. That's a really big improvement in terms of this card and how he's able to play. Now that we've covered all of that, we're going to get into what the SBC requirements are for you to get your hands on him. So guys, getting into the SBC requirements, 815 on the PlayStation, 745 on the Xbox, and 966 on the PC. Now when I did this yesterday, guys, I actually did a look at this card yesterday as part of the weekly review, or whenever this comes out. It'll be a few days back from when this comes out. 815 was not the price. I think it was closer to 950 if I'm not mistaken, but again, I digress. We'll just get straight into it. The first three squads are okay. It's just a bronze squad, silver squad, and gold squad there with an informed player for the first three, so relatively cheap. I think that comes up to just over 30k, which is alright, guys. I mean, you can muster that together with your weekly rewards. This is where it starts to get a little more expensive in terms of the squad. So the first one here for 48k is an 83 rated squad with an informed player. Again, an 85 rated squad, no informed player, 178k for that squad, 263k for this squad, which is an 86 rated squad, and another 86 rated squad, but this one with an informed player, 292k on that one. So overall, guys, this SBC is fairly expensive. I do think, of course, as that prime mid-player pick comes out of packs, this will start to come down even further. The player prices are very inflated right now, guys, so please do bear that in mind. This will then come down to a price where I think it's much more reasonable to put this squad together, and I think EA have actually done a really good job of pricing these SBCs comparatively to their price. I think SBCs, in my opinion, should always be lower than the value of the player that you can buy them for in the open market, and this Kluivert is more expensive on the market right now, and this SBC is about the right range cheaper. I just hope that the price of these SBCs falls enough to mitigate the fact that the price of this card will start to drop as more of them are pulled. Overall, guys, though, I think this SBC, again, very well priced. We'll look at that more again in the summary, but now that we've covered what you guys need to do in these SBCs, we're going to get into some of the clips that I got with him. So guys, getting into some of Prime Icon Moment Patrick Kluivert's clips, and what you guys are going to see and what I'm going to talk about for the most part is his general ability to be able to play that front man, but in the way of an old school build, and being able to hold up the ball, strong hold up play, big man play, able to link up the play well, and then set up chances for his teammates too, as well as sticking away all types of goals that come his way. Now the first thing I'm going to get into, guys, is that physicality. That physicality that he has is absolutely fantastic. He has a really big build. He's 6'2", and a very stocky build as well. So what that means is that he's able to hold off most defenders. He has 87 strength as well, so that's really fantastic too to have in a striker, especially if you do want to play that hold up play kind of build. And it allows you guys to have a little more freedom with your cams and wingers, especially if you're able to hold up the ball and you're able to turn your back to the defenders and get runners off him. You'll have real fun with this card. Getting into one of the cons, guys, what I wanted to talk about was his long shots. Now he really does struggle in terms of long shots, guys. Even though I did improve it with certain chemistry styles, I do feel like his long shots did struggle a little bit. Now it's not that they're particularly inaccurate, it's just that they're not right in the corners, and usually at this point in the game, if you can't stick them in the corners, goalkeepers are going to save these shots. He did have a lot of attempts, and you guys have seen as well, and a couple of these, this one here as well as a prime example, just doesn't stick it quite in that corner to get it to go in the goal. However, guys, I wouldn't say that's too much of an issue. He has fantastic shot power, and that allows you to create a lot of opportunities in and around the box as well, just from goalkeeper parries. Allows you to smash the ball as well with a lot of conviction in the knowledge that you know he's not going to put them off target, and it's just a question of whether the goalkeeper can actually get to it. Now, the next thing we want to get into, guys, is his general finishing and his composure, and this is probably the biggest factor about this card. This card's composure has gone up a bunch. I think it's gone up by about 8 points from 79 to 87, and that's phenomenal for this card, guys, because what he now becomes is a very usable finisher and a very usable card. And as you guys are going to see from some of the finishes here, there were some really nice finishes from this card, and he was able to finish a lot of chances for me. Generally, he did very well when getting towards that edge of the box area. The shot power there as well came into effect, and he was able to stick it past the goalkeeper with relative ease. Creating those chances for him was very easy as well, because he's very easy to link up the play with. And guys, what I would say as well is that although he does feel a little bit clunky on the dribbling, what you do have is you do have okay dribbling. It's usable, guys, and you will see a couple of clips where I do use that dribbling a bit better than you maybe would expect. But guys, I would say that in general, you do need to remember that this is a clunkier striker, a bigger striker, stronger striker. You need to use him as such. Play him as if you were using Zlatan Ibrahimovic or someone of that ilk, where they're bigger, able to head the ball as well, very well, as you guys will have seen in the first clip and one of the goals that came through in these clips as well. He's very capable of heading the ball, very capable of creating chances with his back to the defense, and then just finishing them off. Here again, just turning, creating chances for myself and getting the goals, nice and easy finishes there. I did generally, guys, have to keep the finishes pretty simple. His finesse shots from outside the box aren't the best, which is what I like to do, but in the box and especially on that weak foot as well, he is lethal. This chance here, we actually get the ball back, a lovely finish with the left foot. How's this for a goal into the net? So guys, getting into this final Patrick Kluivert prime icon moment player and SBC, we're going to look at the SBC cost. First of all, we're going to look at the cost actually of the card, 1.041 million for this card. And if we look at the SBC, 831k here, again, it was coming up fluctuating. Between now and when I've actually looked at the SBC cost again, it has fallen and risen. It's just doing all sorts of craziness with how these players are currently fluctuating. 750k on the Xbox and 984 on the PC. Now guys, we will look at that in comparison to a lot of strikers in due course. But if we just look at, in general, his stats here, all of those stats there for the shooting are pretty decent. The long shots could be improved a little bit. The volleys, I don't think need to be improved that much. I think that's very serviceable. I think the passing is a really big pro of this card as well. I think the physicality is a great pro of this card. I think this agility and balance really needs to be improved. And I think if you do improve that, what you do have is a fantastic all-around player there. Now, I will maintain that the artist is a very good chemistry style for this card, guys. If you look at what it does to him, brings his dribbling up, brings that agility up, and brings those reactions up as well, which is really nice. The balance is still a bit off. Now, I did notice that he did get bustled about a little bit when he had the artist on him, but he was still able to move a lot more cleanly than he did when he had the engine on him. Of course, it boosts his passing to no end too. So if we just put the engine on him, guys, to see what that does to him, of course, you guys can see it does boost the agility. I think this is still a little too stiff for me, although it would be my recommended chemistry style. I would say that you guys could change things up, try different things out to see what works for you in terms of the chemistry style and how he should play. But I think you do need to focus on the pace as well. So it's really a way up of what you think will be the best way to go about this. The finisher is also a lovely trait to put on him, but I think it's wasted because the shooting doesn't really get that much better. For me, I would recommend this artist here to kind of give him the best sort of boost in terms of what you can do for the player, considering how you will have to play this card as a general big man. Not so much running in behind, although he is capable of doing that against maybe slightly slower defenders. You will have to do that for a bigger player in terms of playing your back to the defense and holding up the ball. So I think that really does help him in that regard. In terms of similar players, guys, we're not going to go through that because, of course, he is very similar to his other Prime Icon cards in Prime Icon Patrick Kluivert. The linkability of this card, of course, as well, linking to everyone in FIFA data as well as Dutch players and other Dutch icons too, are perfect links to this card. We're just going to look at the quick price comparison before my final recommendation. So guys, if we just look at where this card sits in terms of the price comparison to other strikers, he's just above Dennis Bergkamp, just below that Morales card. A very good card, actually. I'm very tempted to try that card there. But I think as well, just below is Van Basten, Davor Šuker there as well. And overall, guys, I still think this card has a little bit to fall. I think he will settle in somewhere around this Raul mark. Now, this Raul is fantastic card, 795k there. I do think he'll fall below that, closer down towards where this Del Piero is down here. 700k seems like a fair price to me for this card. I don't think he will stay at a million coins, so please do bear that in mind, guys, that you will need to consider where this card is going to fall to. Of course, all these cards are relatively new, and with people able to do this card, especially in SBC, this price is going to fall harder than those other strikers. Which leads me to my final recommendation, guys, about this SBC. You really have to consider where it's going to fall towards. If it falls down to the say 650, 600k mark, and the card is priced at 700k, 100% worth it, guys, because you're getting a card that therefore you can trade in some untradeable fodder, or you can get for a slightly cheaper price and you have to hold it. And admittedly, this card you will have to hold, but you'll be able to hold it right up until the end game. This card will be very reasonable at doing everything you need to do, especially if you are looking for that stylish striker. He is the perfect fit for that job. Overall, guys, I would say though that given how the current climate of the market is, wait until the prices of these players go back down. Wait to see where this Kluivert settles, because I don't think he's worth 1 million coins, and I certainly don't think this SBC is worth it right now. Certainly wait to see where it settles down at before you do go out and complete this card. But once it does come down, if it settles around that 600, 650k mark, 100% worth it for me, guys. A very capable, very competent striker as well. Hope you guys did enjoy this review. If you did, please do smash that like button. Until next time, I will see you all in a bit.